Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday, Self-Care Sunday with Tarot. Good evening, everybody. I know that the notifications haven't quite gone out yet, but good evening. If you're watching this and you're part of the replay crew, can I just say, first of all, thank you so much for watching. Also, if you can, just to let me know that you are part of the replay crew, if you could put a sun emoji somewhere into the chat once this actually all kind of goes up on the chat, that onto the replay rather, that would be really useful because it just tells me where people are watching and when people are watching and all of that lovely stuff. So I will we'll get cracking actually today. We're going to get cracking with everything. Harleen Kaur, hello my darling, good evening or good afternoon. What time is it where you are, Harleen? Good evening to, wow, look, everybody's coming in there. Anita in the chat, good evening, my darling. Harleen Kaur's asking how I'm doing. I'm very well, my darling. Thank you very much. Very excited for tonight. Staying up all night watching, waiting for the sun to rise over Stonehenge on a live feed. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Hopefully. Oh, the notifications have just gone out. Thank you, Anita. That's lovely to know. Cover button. Hello, my darling. Good evening. Little Miss Budget. Good evening, Vanessa. How are you, my darling? You made me laugh. Oh my God, it's Tiffany. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me just compose myself. What I was trying to say then was good evening to Tiffany. Good morning where you are, my darling. If you don't know, Tiffany is from Bewitching Bemused. It's she's a phenomenal content creator. Look at me, I'm blushing and everything. Bewitching Bemused. So Tiffany is a wonderful content creator here on the YouTubes. She is, by the way, can you all hear me okay? Because I've got the fans on in front, I've got my headphones on, and it just feels, this is how I normally am on Zoom. It feels really weird. But yes, so Bewitching Bemused is the channel name of a fabulous creator here called Tiffany. She is how would I describe her? She's a phenomenally friendly, very warm and caring individual who is very much into witchcraft, and her channel is all about her personal witchcraft journey. Thank you, my darling. Thank you, Little Miss Budget, as well. And thank you to Anita letting me know. Ramneet Kaur, good evening, Ramneet, or good afternoon where you are as well. Good afternoon, yes, good evening. Loving the background. I managed to unclip my progress flag. So that's actually the Progress Pride flag. I finally managed to unclip it from over there. Harleen says, you're doing great. Thank you so much. So yeah, Bewitching Bemused is a phenomenal channel if you're into your witchcraft. But basically, right, let's you all know me, okay? Everybody that watches this knows me. You know I tell it as it is, right? So does Tiffany. If you are a fluffy bunny who's coming at witchcraft for the first time and wanting basically to be able to do what they did on the craft, then Bewitching Bemused probably isn't the channel for you, because she tells it as it is. She gives you like honest witchcraft and honest reviews, honest spell workings. She's got her own kind of personal connection to Hecate, same as I have. Tanisha's here as well. Good evening, Tanisha, my darling. Good evening. How are you doing, honey? I wasn't expecting to see you this evening because I know that you are working so hard to get the job over in India. Well done, well done, well done. Oh, it's so good to see you here. But yeah, do go and check out Bewitching Bemused. She is a phenomenal content creator. I've been watching her channel for a long time as I wouldn't say a stalker because that sounds really bad, but you know when you watch a channel and then you don't comment for ages, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I agree with that, and then you're like, oh, I agree with that, oh, I agree with that, and then you start kind of typing. Well, she did a live earlier, and I just managed to catch kind of like I think the last hour, and I was like, hello, oops, I've caught a live, and she shouted me out on her channel, and I blushed a lot. Anyway, Tanisha says, evening peeps, and Tanisha says, Anita, when will you start YouTube? And Anita's reply is on the 12th of never. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Feel free to stalk away. Tiffany, I would love to do a collab at some point. I know you're like you're a massive channel compared to me with my little 400 some odd subbies. But if you ever wanted to do something talking about different sort of traditions, because I've got a bit of experience with the British traditional witchcraft, Wiccan based stuff from back in day before I did this and branched off into this whole new tangent. But yeah, I would absolutely love to do some sort of collab and just a conversation or anything. I really would. Oh, I can't believe you're here. It's literally like, oh my God, there's like YouTube royalty here. Yeah, absolutely. Anita will never have a YouTube channel, not on her own. She's doing it with Yaz, and it's going to be the candle review channel. Now, obviously, because of COVID and everything else, there's been, oh my God, darling, yes. Because of COVID, there's been a lot of delays, Tanisha. That's what it is, because Yaz and Anita can't get together to review the candles. That's what it is. Oh dear. Anyway, right, so we are going to do some skincare and some self-care before we move on to the tarot readings tonight. I've got the Gaia Oracle cards. I thought this might be a really nice deck to use. Anita saying, oh Lord, here we go. Oh look, one jumped out straight away. Shall we see? Now normally, as you'll know if you've been watching my live streams in terms of the tarot, normally when I'm shuffling, I won't say that if a card jumps out, it's a big important omen. But I've just opened that box and one's jumped out and I've not shuffled them. So this has got nothing to do with my fibromyalgia. This is just a card that wanted to make itself known. So this is the Gaia Oracle deck, and this is the Hidden Path card. It says, the marriage of spirit and matter. Oh, now there you go. There you go. Look. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? I love the fact that there is like a sun emblem on there. And obviously you've got an ankh and the Eye of Horus. Which way is that one? Hang on. If I was looking in that, so that would be painted that way. That's the right. So that's the Eye of Ra. I think that's the Eye of Ra. Eye of Ra or Eye of Horus, anyway. It is a beautiful card, Anita. These Gaia Oracle cards are very good for connecting with sort of goddess energy, I would say, and sort of Gaia energy. So for me, Gaia energy is a very sort of, how to put it, it's very earth mothery and it's very grounded. Right, I'm going to move the camera down slightly. Now everybody's seen the flag is there we go. I need to get a new chair is what I need to do. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So yeah, I was going to do a rather than doing a self-care oracle card, we'll do one of these cards a little bit later, just before we move on to the tarot stuff. I do have my Connolly deck here on hand. So yes, anyway, it is a beautiful card. Yes says, you have no money for candles. You need to win the lottery first, then I'll think about it. They can be really expensive, can't they? They can be really, really, really expensive. We've been looking at some recently and they are, yeah, they can be really expensive. But anyway, Tanisha, you're a poor lady too, says Tanisha. Anita, you spread your aura without a channel too. Oh, oops. There we go. You do, Anita. You do. You spread your. You're like an oak tree, my darling. Your roots and your branches. That's. Let me just. Yeah, you're the Yggdrasil. You are the living embodiment of the Yggdrasil, my darling. That's what you are, Anita. No, if you don't know, Anita is one of our spanners. We call the moderators on this channel and over on Kirsty's channel, which is Making It Up. We call our lovely moderators the spanners because when they become a moderator, they get a little wrench or a spanner next to their name. And Anita is our major spanner. She keeps everybody, including me, on track, especially once everything gets going with the tarot and everything. So then, is everybody excited for the summer solstice? The sun rises in the UK at 4:30, either 4:31 or 4:35, and I'm not sure. I think it might be 4:35. No, 4:31 for us in Leeds, and then it takes a little while for it to get to London, which is where I think it was 4:35. Anyway, I'm not entirely certain. My video today was fascinating. You learned lots about the summer solstice. Oh, thank you, Anita. I'm trying with all of the ones about the Sabbat, with all about the main sort of festivals. I'm trying to keep them really informative, but also a little bit story timey and a little bit kind of light as well, because I don't just want to bombard people with information, because I know that a lot of you on here are very new to the craft and very new to kind of a lot of these concepts. So I don't want to sit there and start going, oh, well, actually, then you see the goddess is heavily pregnant with the god, even though the god is actually separate, and she gives birth to the god later on in the season. But actually, the god is a different god, but it's the I didn't want to go on to all of that. So yeah, you've got a wrestling pay-per-view on until about 4 a.m. So it'll be perfect timing. Is that Hell in a Cell? Did I see that was it that one that's on? Or is it a AEW one? Do let me know. Yes, that'd be really fascinating. Hey, Kirsty's here. Hello, my darling. Just got back from Little Sis. Oh, my darling, that's really fab. I hope you had a really lovely time. So then I'm just pulling a Oracle card, Kirsty, just before we get going. We had one jump out. Oh, this is really interesting. Oh, so oh, Belinda's here as well. Belinda Chapman, hello, my darling. So Tiffany from Bewitching Bemused is also kind of, Renata's here as well. Hello, Renata. I'm just saying hello to everybody. But yeah, Tiffany from Bewitching Bemused is also quite liminal in the way that she deals with sort of her relationship with Hecate and things like that. And one of the things about the summer solstice that I kind of briefly touched on in the video today is that it is a doorway point. It really is. Now, doorways are something which is kind of really important in terms of witchcraft, because a lot of historically witches didn't just see a doorway as being a point between this room and that room. A doorway was even a point between worlds and realms. And so at the summer solstice and the winter solstice, and especially you'll hear it at Samhain as well. But a lot of these sort of equinox, a lot of these Sabbats, a lot of these festival days are seen as pivotal days. Obviously, in the summer solstice and the winter solstice, it's because the Oak King gives way to the Holly King, or the Holly King gives way to the Oak King, depending on which one you're in. And that involves a transition point, which is, again, almost like a death and a rebirth. So it's that liminal kind of energy, that shifting energy. And so this is a really interesting card that's come up for a summer solstice card. It's not, and nor would I expect it to be coming from me, a light and fluffy, bright, sunshiny card. This is a card which says remembrance, resurfacing of past feelings and emotions. And so that one there, look, that there is all about remembrance. And so for today, on the day of the summer solstice, which is also Father's Day, so for me, I remember my father who's passed. And for anybody remembering the fathers that have passed, you know, we do recognize that energy, but also especially on the summer solstice as well, because again, it is that time of year, one of those times of year where we're in that doorway period where that change is happening. Because as of tomorrow morning, when everybody wakes up in the morning here in the UK, and worldwide, once you wake up and it's your sort of solstice morning, once that happens, we are now headed towards autumn, we're headed towards winter, we are headed onto the dark side of the wheel. We've got the light side that takes us from winter to summer, and we've got the darker side that takes us from summer to winter. So yeah, it's an absolutely amazing period of time. Kirsty, oh, I just missed your message. Oh, hang on. Right, let's have a look. What did you say? We did, thank you. Special day today because it should have been their first wedding anniversary today, but it's actually still a year to go. So an anti-first wedding anniversary. So it's a minus first wedding anniversary. That's really interesting. But if it was supposed to be last year was -2, if that makes sense. Wow, that's really cool. And you're bear with dropping that card that I just put down, because I'm trying to put the lid on. I'll just put them over there. No, I need to put the lid on, because if I don't, they'll just fall everywhere. Your Sarah doesn't need an excuse for a party. God. No, absolutely. I mean, does anybody need an excuse for a party? Well, I suppose these days we're not allowed, are we? Now everything's changed. But also, I'm not exactly the most social person. Does anybody remember that song? You'll find me in the kitchen at parties, whatever it was. I can't remember the tune. But yeah, that was me. You'll always find me in the kitchen at parties. Not just because that's where the food and drink was, well, because that's where the drink was normally. Talking of which, I do have a coffee here today. It's a nice strong coffee because, again, I'm going to keep my energy up all the way through till 4:30 a.m. Belinda Chapman, you've done it already, Neat. What's that? Oh, the thumbs up button. Yes, thank you very much. If you could hit that thumbs up button. Jonah Louie. What's that? That was a song. Did I just sing? Did I just say some lyrics from a song? I did, didn't I? And I've completely forgotten what the song was. What's the song cover button? Let me know what the song is. Anyway, let's crack on with some skincare. So I don't know whether everybody's going to do their masks and everything at home. Are you going to? Are you going to do your mask at home? I've got two fans on, by the way, if you're wondering. He sang it. He sang what? I'm thinking, I thank you for the days. Those endless days, those sacred days you gave me. I don't know what the words are. I'm thinking of the days. You haven't come here for singing, have you? No. Right, so we're going to do a quick little bit of skincare. And I do have... Oh, thank you to Anita for my birthday. The gift box. I'm singing again because I am happy. I have another Argyle line. Doopy, 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 doo. It's going to go and fix my forehead lines. Doopy, 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 doo. Don't know what I'm singing. Byron's here. Why is my chat is acting very strange, by the way? Good evening to Byron, my darling. Oh, I can't get this. Oh, I can't get this open. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, she was a bit tight. Kelly, oh, thank you for joining, my darling. Kelly's here as well. God, everybody's here tonight. It's going to be a really good evening. I can feel it in my bones. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Yeah. Isn't that the one? Was that the one that was like #1 for 100 years? Is that the one? I love you. I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. Is this the right words? I don't know. Is that? I'm sure that's the one because Wet 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 did a cover, didn't they? And I'm sure it was #1 for like 30 weeks or something. It was for a hell of a long time, and then they cancelled it. They stopped it. They actually stopped production, so because everybody was getting sick of the song. Is that right? Shush, Kirsty, you're making me giggle. I know, right? Is that the one? Is that the song I'm thinking of? Feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my bones. I know it's not bones, it's toes. But I don't feel anything in my toes because I've normally got socks on. So, although at the moment it's too blooming warm, isn't it? Right then, so everybody, we are going to open up the tarot list at about 7:30 tonight. I want to crack on with tarot tonight. Because as soon as this is done, I've got a whole load of stuff that I need to get prepared for tonight's solstice. So all of my crystals are coming out, and they're all going to get charged outside. I'm going to make some solstice sun water. Good evening to Katrina. Hello, my darling. Hello, hello. I'm going to make some solstice sun water as well. That's for a plan. #1 for record 18 weeks, and then they did a Christmas version in Love Actually. Did they? I feel it in my fingers. I feel my ho ho ho's. How could you make that? How could you make that Christmassy? I feel it in my mince pies. I don't know. No idea. Anyway, yes. Stop singing, Lisa. Right. So now I'm using this one, which is actually the other one. That Anita also sent me, but this isn't that bottle because that bottle's in there. This one is the oh, you need to put your crystals out. Yeah, you absolutely do, Tiffany. Kirsty, by the way, meet Tiffany, Bewitching Bemused. Go and check out her channel, Kirsty. Kirsty, who's making it up, also has a channel and she does witchy stuff as well. So yeah, introducing everybody to everybody. Oh, this feels really nice, this one. Oh, there we go. That's my lovely 2-step skincare. I am going to do a little bit of the Dr. Botanicals hemp moisturizer as well because I love this. Let me just see if I've got one open because I've got a new one there. Everybody's in the chat going, everyone's at home going, Oh God, Lisa, how many of them have you got? God, how many have you got? I know, right? I've got tons. Right, so then, Remembrance is our oracle card for today. So I think that's really important to think back, especially at key times of the year. So although summer solstice isn't, it isn't, Christmas is all around me. Oh God, no. Crystals all around me. Oh yeah, I could have that. My crystals all around me. My spell kit in my bag. I think that I'm a maiden. In fact, I'm just a hag. There we go. Look, here we go. Song for Yule. We won't do a Christmas number one. We'll do a Yule number one. We'll get all the witches together, and we'll all sing some kind of corrupt version of some lovely old classic. I'm just looking because I put my glasses down and I can't see where I put them. And the reason I can't see where I put them is because I did have my glasses on. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. So yes. It's a little bit chaotic energy tonight, isn't it? But do you know what? I am absolutely feeling the energy already. I loved putting together the today's Stonehenge video, or the solstice video from Stonehenge, because it gave me so many memories. Those 2 video clips weren't actually mine, unfortunately, because all of my back in the day when I first went to Stonehenge, nobody took cameras. We never had phones on our cameras on our phones then, because our phone was attached to the living room or to the hallway at home. So you wouldn't ever really do, you wouldn't ever be taking a lot of photos when you're out, because you had to pay to get them. I know, right, Kirsty? You had to pay to get them, developed, and then you had to wait 3 days or a week or whatever it was as well. So, oh my God, it was an absolute nightmare. I am going to put on the. Shall I put these eye ones on? I was hoping Holland would be here because I've got the eye mask things that Holland actually sent me, and because they were gold, I thought they would be perfect because I am wearing all yellow today for solstice, with the exception of my bracelet, which is black, purple, and pearl, because this is for Hecate. Because black and purple are her colours. You remember the days of no mobile phones? Only just though, Kelly. You only just remember it because you're like 12 or something. I know you're not, but you look ever so young, so that's good. So then, everybody, we're going to crack on with some tarot very shortly. We're going to open the what's it in about 5 minutes time. So do you, Kelly. You can just about remember yesterday. I loved, but it was the back in the day where it was always like your mum would say, "Give me 3 rings when you get in." And they don't really say that now because you've got your phone and you just go, "Oh, I'll just give you a ring. Yeah, I'm opening the front door now. Yeah, I'm inside the house. Yeah. I'm putting the shopping down. Yeah, no, I'm in the house now. Yeah, bye." Because you've got them on the phone with you. That was the other thing. I saw this on TikTok. So young people and old people, do you know how to tell which category you are in, whether you're young or old? And it is to do with phones. And there's one very simple way of telling whether you are a young person or an old person. There's no in between, unfortunately. This is literally, then it's not even maiden and crone. This is literally child or old fart like me. So the way you do it, right, is you say to somebody, mime using a phone. And if you do this, you're old, because phones don't look like that anymore. The young people do this. That's what young people do. Or they do that. So they're either picking up like an iPhone, or it's that. That is the mime that young people, kids and everything, use for using a phone. Whereas us oldies go, "Hiya, yeah, you're right, yeah, hello." Young people are like, "What the hell is she holding? A banana? What the hell is going on?" So yeah, that is a good way of telling whether you are an old fart like me or a nice, healthy young person like me. 3 rings and they don't pick up, so you put down after 3. Otherwise, leave it to ring just once more, and then mum would pick it up in a panic. Absolutely. That's the one. That is the one. 3 rings means you're home. 4 rings means something's happened. And that was always the thing, wasn't it? That was always the thing. Like, my also back in the day of parents doing weird things with phones. Did your mum have a telephone voice? See, my mum never really had a telephone voice, but my nan, oh my god. So say 230 209 630940. There we go. Back in the day, 630940. Okay, was their number. You don't even need to look it up. It's a Southampton number from a million billion years ago. But anyway, they're all like 12 numbers now. But she would pick up the phone and she'd be like 630940. But she wouldn't say it like that. She'd go 630940. Hello, and you'd be like, Grandma. She'd go, oh hello. 630940. Oh hello. Yeah, literally. You have a telephone voice. Belinda, you have a YouTube voice. You have a YouTube voice. You see, my problem is because I do lives, everybody knows what I sound like, and everybody knows that I swear sometimes, a lot of the time, and everybody knows that my brain is a little bit fuddled and I mix my words up and ADHD and all of that. So everybody knows that. So I can't even do the whole hello, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the advanced socioeconomical repercussions. Nobody understands. Nobody. It'll be like in the comments, you'd all be going, "Back off, Lisa. What the hell are you talking about?" I know, right? I know. You just don't answer the phone, Yaz. Well, that's one option. Kirsty, oh, the telephone voice. Hello, Blogstown 5432. How can I help? And that was the other thing, wasn't it? You would announce your phone number. Why would you announce your phone number? It would literally be like my nan would go 00940, and it'd be like, I know the number because I rang you, so I know the number, and like 30 years after you died, it's still in my brain because I'm doing it on a YouTube, so I know the number. But thank you for telling me, Nan. Oh, sorry. Bye. Love you. Yeah. See, and you would hang up. None of this thing. Yeah, anyway, enough of all that. Remembrance, that wasn't what we're supposed to be talking about with that card, was it? That card was very much remembering the our previous. Hello, Lewisham. What was that? 453624. Oh, I know, wasn't it? Why would you announce where you are first? Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? That was a thing. See, my nan never did that. She just did the number. Hello, blah 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 blah, and it was always straight away. Why would you announce the number? I did it as well. And the thing is, when we were kids, I'd pick up the phone. And again, I can remember my childhood phone number, and the phone would ring. And normally, like, if it was in the evening, then it would only ever be really my nan or one of my aunts or someone ringing, or like one of my mum's friends. So if she was having a quiet or she just couldn't be bothered, she'd go, answer the phone. And I'd go, hello, 738040. Hello. Mum, it's for you. Who is it? It's your friend. She said she'll give you a call back later. All right, bye. You still have your neighbour's number still in your head. I still have my mum's, like our childhood number growing up, my nan's phone number and my aunt's phone number, because they were the ones that we used to ring all the time. And also a friend of mine's number, because it was very similar. I don't know if you could hear my alarm going off there, and that's really annoying. But also it was really similar to my aunt's. They were literally like two digits different. And in my head, I was always like, oh, but they don't even live anywhere near them. How did that? Just because, you know, that's in my head. Obviously, the next door neighbour would go up a digit, and the next door neighbour would go up 2 digits. And of course, that never happened, did it? That wasn't the way things went back in the day. I mean, it doesn't happen that way now, but yes, it was absolutely weird. Right, let me just make sure this alarm is off. Yes, it is. Right, fantastic. So then, everybody, I think we should probably go ahead and open the tarot. What's it called? The tarot list. So if you would like a tarot reading, you can get your name on the list right now, and then that way you'll be we'll be able to get to you when we can get to you. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just making sure that my alarm is. Drop my phone. Drop my phone. Didn't really want to do that again. No, don't do that. Right then. So we are going to open up the tarot readings. Oh, where did my fan go? Bear with me, everybody. Sorry. I know, right? If you can put your put the word question at the start so that we know that it is an actual question that's coming in. That helps Kirsty get the message across to me. I might use this, you know. Oh, Kirsty, did you open your witch casket box yet? Have you opened it? Right. Okay. I don't know whether you've opened it or not, so I will leave off. Can you have a general reading, Byron? Of course you can, my darling. Katrina B and Byron are in straight away, in like Flynn. I don't know who Flynn was or why they were in, but there you go. You're in straight away. We will crack on with those. I do have my, oh gosh, tarot cloth there. Now, we're not going to start tarot for about 15 minutes or so, but it gives everybody a chance to kind of get the questions in. It gives us a chance to kind of behind the scenes, make sure that everything is right. Okie dokie, Kirsty, my darling. It gives everybody a chance behind the scenes to kind of just get themselves ready, get themselves G'd up and ready for everything. So yes, so then, what are you planning to do for the summer solstice if you are doing anything? I know that a lot of people aren't really aware of the sort of witchcrafty side of things to do with the solstice, and a lot of people I know, especially here in the UK, only really see, you know, we see it on the telly, don't we, on so tomorrow afternoon you'll be seeing it on the news, and tomorrow evening, where it will be the shots of, you know, Uther Pendragon, who is the druid, leading a ritual. Oh, actually, no, he won't be, will he? Because Stonehenge is closed. I forget, because of COVID. Yes, absolutely. So I wonder where Uther Pendragon is this year. I wonder where he was last year. That's really interesting. Right then. I will do as many of the readings tonight as we possibly can. I'm just laying out my cloth to make it all nice and spiritual, because that really helps me. He may be let in. Nobody's let in, cover button. The site is actually closed because of COVID. Last year there was, I think, maybe like 3 English heritage people in. He might have been let in after during the daytime, but he wasn't there when the sun arose. Nobody was there when the sun rose, apart from, I think there were 2 or 3 English heritage staff in high-vis jackets that were there. That was really interesting. But yeah, I loved it last year. I loved watching it. I miss going. I will be going again at some point. I absolutely will. Okie dokie. Right, so I've got some questions in already. So what's everybody going to be doing for solstice? I am going to be awake. I will be in the back garden if the weather's good. I keep checking the app on the weather app, and it keeps saying to me that the weather could be cloudy, but it could be a little bit kind of blur. So there's a slight chance of rain overnight, so I will keep an eye on that. But what I will be doing is sitting in the garden, waiting for the sun to come up, watching the English heritage footage from Stonehenge on my laptop as it hits there, or on my. You see wings behind me. It's the flags. Okay, I mean, it might not be the flags. It could be anything. There is purple there from the Pride flag. But if you are seeing that, my darling, I will absolutely take it. This is a liminal time after all. I know, right? It seems to become part of my vocabulary, this word liminal. Ever since I there we go, I've just moved you a little bit closer. Ever since I actually kind of fully understood the meaning in terms of spirituality. So then, I hope everybody's having a reasonably okay week. Do you know what? Yes, go on, we will. We've pulled a Gaia card, an oracle card. Before we get on to the tarot, let's do a sacred self-care card as well, just because I think, you know, let's do a bit of self-care. Let's do a little bit of self-love. I'm delving deep into the self-love, self-care kind of thing at the moment. Kirsty, hopefully you'll be awake this year. Failed the last few years, unfortunately, in the back garden with a flask of tea and your camera with new 250 times zoom lens attached. Do you want me to give you a ring? If you have your telephonic mobile device and send me the number on the Instagram, then I could give you a ring and let you know or wake you up. The only thing is I don't want to ring your house number because then like I don't want to wake up the kids and hubby and everything else. That'd be awful, wouldn't it? It'd just be like, hello, it's me. Sun's coming up. Go away, I'm asleep. That won't be good. Right then, let's have a little look-see. So, okay, we've got another one. This one came up last week as well. Now, I have shuffled them. I'm going to do one more shuffle and we'll pull a second oracle card because it seems it's telling me to do or telling us to do what we already do. Okay, my darling, I will do. Send me the number and I will do. And then we've got this one. Right. Okay. So then I love these cards. These cards are so cool. Right. So the self-care cards are telling us now, please let me know if you can take this in the chat. The self-care cards are telling us that a beauty ritual. So take some time to beautify ourselves, whatever that means for you. Obviously, this person is painting their nails. So if that's something, I mean, I've painted mine and then look at that. Look how much that's chipped off in like 3 days. But anyway, so yeah, paint your nails or, you know, make everything sort of beautify yourself and take that little bit of extra time to take that extra step on your hair rather than just giving it a quick rinse. Take that extra time just to make you feel good. I know, Anita, that's what I'm saying. This is probably going to be a recurring one because obviously this is all about self-care and skincare and doing all of those things. My skin feels really nice, by the way. I know I haven't put a sheet mask on tonight. But yeah, so yeah, that's a really good one. And then the other one is a burning bowl ritual. Now, this is perfect to do for summer solstice because obviously at summer solstice, we traditionally light bonfires or you light, you know, barbecues, you light fires to basically what they used to do is make sure that you lit a fire to make sure that that great ball of fire in the sky came back next year and carried on coming back. It was a whole kind of linkage thing back in the day. But a burning bowl ritual, if you're going to have a little fire, a chimney, a fire pit, even if you're just going to take like a metal, like the little travel altars that some of you I know have bought, just take a little travel altar out, put a couple of candles in it, and that can work for a burning ritual. So if you don't know, a burning bowl ritual is basically a really, really simple way of good evening to Mandy Bloom. Hello, my darling. I hope you're well. I will give you a ring, Kirsty, 3:30, and the kids will, everyone will be dead to the world. Okay, no worries. But a burning ritual, if you've never done one, it's a really lovely, lovely thing to do. It's a really positive affirmation-y type thing. And basically what you do is you write down on pieces of paper either all of the people that have hurt you in your life or the people that are stressing you or the situations that are stressing you or things that you want to let go of and things that you want to cast out. And so you can be something like you can be, you know, you want to cast out your own insecurity, second guessing yourself, all of that. So Neil's saying you're going to go to watch the stream after it's broadcast, as I'm going to go and hopefully finish your podcast episodes daily. So it's your mission. Thought I'd say hello briefly to everyone. Neil, you're amazing. Thank you, my darling, for coming in, for popping in and saying hello. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. And hopefully let me know if you're up for Solstice as well. Let me know if you're up and about, because there'll probably be a fair bit of Instagramming going on, going, oh, look at this picture. But anyway, back to this. The idea is that you write down things. So it could be you think, you know, oh, I'm going to get rid of my insecurity about my body. And you'd write on a piece of paper, you know, feeling bad about my boobs or feeling bad about my bum or whatever it is that you personally have a bad relationship with. And basically the idea is that you then light, if you've got a big fire like this or a bonfire or something, you throw it into that. Even just a little like fireball, fire pit, a little, you know, couple of candles, you light it and you watch it disappear into ash and smoke. And as it disappears into ash and smoke, that part of you, that part of that negativity or that sort of sucky energy disappears and dissipates off as well. And as the ashes kind of, especially if it's in a bowl like this, as the ash kind of floats around a bit, and the smoke kind of floats around a bit, especially if it's outside, then that negativity leaves you and is gone as well. So that is a really lovely thing to do, especially at this time of year, especially at solstice when we're lighting that bonfire. So that was really interesting. Anyway, right, so then everybody, we've got a few questions in. We are going to transition over to tarot now. Do, by the way, if you haven't already, do please make sure you hit the thumbs up button on this here video. Also, if you haven't already, please do check that you are subscribed to the channel if you would like to know when I release more videos and more content. Also, make sure you click that bell icon. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because at the moment, YouTube is unsubscribing spam accounts. That's what they're telling people that they're trying to do. And I think that is like, you know, the people that buy, you watch some people, they're like, oh, we've got 200 subscribers, and then all of a sudden they're on like 4,000. And they're only getting like 30 people watching a video. That to me might suggest that they've bought their views. Just putting it out there. And that's done with like bots. Now, I don't actually know what a bot is, because in my head, it's like all those squiggly wormy things from the Matrix. You know, that squiddy thing, like that is made up of lots of little bits. And those are all the, ooh, that's kind of what, in my head, the internet bots are like. It's like when people do that cryptocurrency mining thing using bots. I don't know what any of that is, but in my head, that's how I make sense of it. So YouTube apparently is trying to get rid of all of those bots, that automated servicey thing. But what's actually happening is they're deleting actual people that do actually want to do stuff. So yeah, do please let me know if you've been unsubscribed and have had to resubscribe. But do please, for any of your content creators that you like, anybody that you watch on a regular basis, do please make sure that that bell is clicked and that you are actually, oh, you had to click the bell for both. Oh God, see, Katrina's a victim. Right there, look, right there in the chat, Katrina is a victim of that. So yeah, do please let me know. Renata, it's fairly built up where you live, so you won't be able to see the sunrise, unfortunately. So no longer having your own transport, you sadly can't go easily to somewhere it could be seen. So I'll likely just stay at home. Pop on the English Heritage on YouTube, and their live stream with a couple of different camera setups from Stonehenge. You'll be able to watch it come up majestically. It'll be lovely. Okay, everybody. Are we ready for the spiel? Don't forget, we are going to move on to tarot now. So tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. And as always, we recommend that you take the mundane step before the magical. In other words, if you stub your toe, don't just make a wish that you get better. Go and put a plaster on it. If you burn your hand, don't just kind of wish that a mystical fairy will come along and take away the burn. Run it under a cold tap and put some cream on and, you know, look after it. Do that first. Use the magical with it. So bring the fairy energy and all of the rest of them. Maybe not fairies. I don't like fairies. But anyway, do all of that stuff that you're going to do as well. But make sure you do the mundane first. So that's what we always do, always advise in terms of real life. And it's the same if you're getting sued for something. Don't just like try and pull the justice card on a tarot deck. Actually go and speak to a lawyer. Okay, so that is the advice that we say. Now, a couple of things. You do have to be 18 or over to get a tarot reading from myself. That isn't a legal requirement. That is just the way that I operate. If you are under 18, there are other tarot readers on TikTok and other places that won't ask your age or anything. My amazing spanner crew will be able to find out if you are under 18. So don't please try and BS them. Also, it should be noted that we are live on the internet. And as we all know, once something goes on the internet, it's on there forever. So with tarot, you may well get personal information that comes up in the cards. I can't control that. All I do is read the information that the cards give me. So if there is something going on in your life and you really don't want to have any kind of public information out there, do please maybe book me on Fiverr.com or speak to a private tarot reader or message me privately rather than getting that information out there, because again, as I say, once it's out there, it's out there. Now, as you just saw, a card magically jumped from my hand, and unfortunately that is down to my fibromyalgia rather than anything else. Renata is going, okay, my darling, have a fantastic evening. If you have a nap and then get up for the sunrise, drop me a message on that there Instagram as well, let me know. Right then, let's have a little look-see. So I am going to do something that I don't normally do, and I'm going to actually try and pop the, hang on, how can I do this? Right, I'm going to pop out the chat and then minimize the chat. So I now cannot see any of the chat. So I'm going to be reliant totally on the on Kirsty and the Major to actually let me know anything that I need to know. So if anybody comes in, if anybody goes, if you do pop that, if it's something I need to know, please pop that on the Instagram, because I've turned the chat off so that I can just do the readings, because I have found, especially with the ADHD, I can get distracted when I'm reading for somebody, and I think that's a little bit unfair. Okay, right then, everybody, it is that time. Let's crack on with some readings tonight. So the first one we have is Katrina B. My darling, question, what is the next month for you? I will have a little look-see right now. So then, we're going to ask the dragons, we're going to ask my guides, and anybody else, actually, who would like to nudge the cards. We'll ask the Akashic Library and all of that. What has the next month got in store for Katrina B? Let's have a little look-see. So, right, we'll do a 3-card read. So the energy you're bringing in from this month, the energy of the month itself, and the echo of the month ahead. Right then, so the energy you're bringing in from this month, we have the 3 of Wands. By the way, just before I go on, I should say, see, brain distracted already. I should say that I read the cards possibly in a different way to other tarot readers. I have been using these cards for 23 years. This particular, not this exact deck, but this deck, like variations of this deck. It's called the Connolly deck, and it's a very intuitive deck for me. So I will read the cards. Depending on where they come up, they have a different meaning. Depending on whether they're reversed or not, they have a different meaning. And sometimes even depending on the cards next to them, they have a different meaning. All of the meanings that I use when I interpret the cards have been given to me, or that I have worked on for the last 23 years. So they may be different to the keywords that you get in a little pamphlet or in a standard tarot book. Now, my advice for anybody wanting to learn tarot is you take that keyword or those keywords, meditate on them, think about them, and see what those cards actually mean for you, okay? That's a really important thing, because you'll find that a keyword that might say, I don't know, it might say grey. Now, you might interpret that as grey old age. You might interpret that as between light and dark. You might interpret that as including light and dark. There could be all sorts of different things within that you actually interpret just from the word grey. And as you develop with the cards and as you work with them, that meaning will come true. So, or that meaning will be revealed, I should say. So that's a really important thing, okay? Not every tarot reader reads the same card in the same way. And depending on where the cards lay, like this card that I'm about to talk about, which is the 3 of Wands, like this card itself is reversed and is coming up in this particular position. It would be a different meaning if it was in a different set, in a different suit, with a different question, with a different querent questioner. So even if I've given a slightly different interpretation of the same card in previous readings, that is wise, because as you learn the tarot, you do learn, like, this is what the card means, and then these are all the different variations of sort of its layout and its positioning. That being said, let's crack on. So Katrina, the energy you're bringing in from this month into, or from the past month into this month, is the 3 of Wands. As I say, now Wands is your security suit. That can quite often mean bricks and mortar security. So your home, your health, your house, literally your physical bricks and mortar where you live. But it can also mean your sense of self. So it can also be talking about how you know yourself and kind of all of that spiritual journey, inward looking journey that some of us go on. Now, the 3 is very much talking about a journey. It's literally, if it was this way up, it would be, you know, you can see this person's got on the boat and he's gone to see their friend, and, you know, taken over the wand, and it's all of it like spiritual, lots of spiritual meaning. The blue represents spirituality and all sorts of stuff. But because this is reversed, it's talking about, I think the last month has been a bit difficult for you, and the direction that you've gone in, and the sort of journey that you've gone on for the last month has been a lot harder for you and a lot more unexpected than you were thinking it was going to be. And that energy is still going to be coming through for the coming month ahead. So there is still going to be that kind of, things aren't resolved, things aren't finished. It's not like you go, right, okay, that's like, we've got to payday, everything's fixed. It's not that simple. There is still going to be things coming through that you are going to have to deal with. Now, it's really interesting that your card for this coming month is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands talks about, it's very maternal energy. She's not quite the same as the Empress, because the Empress is that much more abundant, but she's kind of on a, she's like, if the Empress is the Empress, she's like one of the queens of her own kingdom. So she's got that abundant ability. She's got that abundance in terms of being a queen. She's got a bit of power and a bit of control. But what she controls is her own sense of self. So again, this is very much talking about you knowing yourself. I think this month you are going to need to be the boss ass bitch. I really do. You're going to need to kind of, whatever this is, whatever this unexpected journey is that you've gone on, you're going to have to kind of put your foot down, and you're going to have to say, right, do you know what? You're going to stop, or I'm going to bang your bloody heads together. Enough is enough. And it's that kind of energy. You know, that one, Emily D. Baker describes it as, well, not the tarot card, but it's that thing where, you know, when you're driving and the kids are arguing in the back, and you're like, if you carry on, I'm going to turn this car around. And eventually you turn the car around. And it's that. So it's talking very much about whatever this chaos, whatever this unexpected journey is that you've gone on, which has really kind of rocked your boat imagery. It's taking that and you basically going, do you know what? We're not going to do that anymore. What we're not going to do is mess around with this. Now, the future energy, the future echo that's coming in for the coming month is a really interesting card, because you've got the Three of Discs, the Three of Pentacles. Now, this normally relates to career and finance. So if there's anything there that's kind of, hang on, I'm going to need to put the chat on, because I can't get responses, and now I've just realized I don't know how to put the chat on. Oh, hang on, this we do. So now we've got this card coming in as well. This is very much talking about study, because the guy is actually holding, I believe it's supposed to be the Torah, but he's actually studying, and he's standing on top of a desk, and it's that whole, look at me, hurrah, celebration. And he's got with him two learned figures, so a monk and a nun. And in this case, this is talking about maybe a spiritual journey. But interestingly, you start with the three and it's reversed. So threes are also about a coming together of family. So I think that this is something family connected. You've then got this energy where you're having to put your foot down and literally, you know, I'll turn the car around. Don't mess with me. I will. One, you say one more word. And then this one is you kind of financially or career wise taking that step, and whatever this family energy is that starts here, it's taking that on to the next level. So I hope that makes a bit of sense. You've just put Lisa well so right. Is it family related? Is there that sort of family dynamic involved in there? It can be. Now, when I say family, that doesn't necessarily mean relatives as in blood people you share a bloodline with. It can be people that you work very, very closely as a team with, or anybody that you're in a very, very tight-knit unit with. So it could be, you know, people that you're on a football team with, or people that you are, you know, in a knitting circle with. It's that kind of tight-knit unit that is basically where we're talking about the family. Interestingly, three coming in reversed. You turn it by being this boss ass, and you bring that energy good. So basically, it could even be that there's arguments going on, you put your foot down and you steer somebody else towards career and towards learning. Yes, and both as I work with family. There we go, Katrina. Absolutely. Well, I wish you the very best this coming month, my darling. I really, really do. I think that you are there's going to be a moment where you have to put your foot down and you are the one that is going to turn that -3 into a +3, if that makes sense. So that negative kind of familial bond into something where it's a much more positive energy moving forward, particularly if there is college, school, universities involved, anything like that, any kind of seat of learning where you've got to go and actually be taught, rather than it being just like, oh, I'm going to download a course for work. And it's going, if there's anything like that involved, college, school, uni, then that is kind of pointing at what's to come. And that is coming in your kind of in next month, so August onwards. So I don't know whether exams are happening. I've got no idea. Kick ass, absolutely. That's what you need to do, my darling. Absolutely need to kick ass. I think Vanessa has gone. Vanessa, thank you so much for being with us tonight. People are talking about your cocktail video. I haven't seen it yet, Vanessa. I will watch it. Thank you, Kirsty. I was going to say the same thing. So yeah, thank you for that. Right then, so we have Byron is up next. So Byron, my darling, I was about to say, if you're still here, put a message in the chat, but I've just seen you say good night to Vanessa, so that's lovely. Right then, just while I'm shuffling, as I always say, don't forget that tarot is for entertainment purposes. It is, you do make all of your own decisions about your own life. And obviously, tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. And always try the mundane before you try the magical. Don't forget, everybody, I do also have a new way of being able to support me on this channel. Somebody was very naughty and supported me a lot last week. And I don't think they realised that PayPal tells me the name of the person that supported me. So I'm not going to out them. But thank you very much to that person for sending me 5 coffees on the app. That was very unexpected. But thank you very, very much. It was a complete surprise. And yes, you are very mad, but thank you. But you can go over to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic if you would like to support my little channel. Yeah, you can just buy me 1 coffee. You don't have to buy me 5. 1 coffee. It's like, I think £5 or something if you would like to support me. You don't have to. This is all about free readings. This is all just to just because I enjoy this so much. I love this. I love Sunday evenings now with all of you. Right then, so Byron just wants a general reading, I believe. So a general reading of the month to come. I think there's a lot of people requesting general readings at the moment. So what we'll do a little we'll do the same spread. The 3 cards, the energy you're taking with you into the coming month, the energy that the coming month will bring, and the energy that the next month is echoing. So I have this theory about future echoes, okay? So this theory is that in the Akashic field, which is basically where, as far as I'm concerned, where all of the knowledge comes from, basically. It's like all of our entire lifeline, all of our entire life is on this in the Akashic library. If you imagine that as a pool of water, if I'm here and you drop a pebble here, that ripple's going to come along. Now, I could be on a boat and I could be slowly making my way that way, but I will see the ripple before I get to where you've dropped the stone. And so sometimes the energy from the coming months is kind of rippling towards us before we get to that month, if that makes sense. It's a bit like radiation. You know, when you get close to, where was it, Chernobyl that blew up? When you're getting close to it, you're feeling that radiation, even though you're nowhere near the nuclear site itself. And that's a little bit how, for me, future echoes, I call them, work. In that the energy that we're going to be hitting full on next month might already be starting to feel its presence right now, in the same way that all day I've been feeling quite tingly and quite buzzy, and as if I've had lots of coffee, because the solstice energy is already coming. I hope that makes sense. So then, Byron, that's what we're going to do for you, my darling. We're going to do that same spread that we just did for Katrina. The energy that you're taking into the month, the energy of the month, and the energy that's echoing from the month afterwards. Let's do the cuts. There we go. Okie dokie. So we have, Byron. Interesting. So the energy from this month, or the energy from the previous month going into next month, we have the 6 of Pentacles. Again, Pentacles is all about finances and career, and the 6, as you can see, is a partying card. So this is the moment where it's not that the project is done. It's not that you're retiring. It's not that you quit the job. You know, you're now a multi-billion pound CEO of a multi-billion pound, you know, company. It's not that. This is kind of like you've been working for the company for a while. Everything's good. The company's making some money and they throw all their employees a lovely party. And you're at that kind of point in your career stroke finances where the things that you are working on, the things that you are taking forward, you kind of, you know yourself, you've got a bit of confidence, you are ready to rock and roll now. And so the party is literally kind of that element of you are celebrating, you are able to kind of slightly let your hair down where work and money are concerned. Now, that doesn't mean you're ready to splurge. It doesn't mean you can go and buy a new Ferrari, but you can probably get a taxi to you know, you can't, how can I put this? Like, you can't go and buy a new Ferrari just to go shopping, but you can afford a taxi to take you to the shopping. You're not just on the bus or walking. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like, you know, you're quite a way into your journey without being at the end point. It's a really interesting card in terms of when we're looking at career options, because it is something where, you know, this person, if you look, everybody around them is really super happy, but this person has a kind of a little bit what's oh my god, Mona Lisa. There you go, a little bit of a Mona Lisa picture there, where it's kind of like and so even in the middle of that work-related party, even in the middle where everything is kind of good, there is still that moment where you're like, okay, we can enjoy the party for now, but we're going to get back to work on Monday. Like a Christmas party. You know, you get a Christmas party, la la la, everybody has a wonderful time, and then they've all got to go back to work in the new year, or in that bit between Christmas and New Year. And so if you end up snogging your boss at your Christmas party, you're going to see them in a week's time. You know what I'm saying? So it's that kind of, just be a little bit careful. Now, the reason that this is interesting is because the 6 leads to the 10. So you've got more career energy coming your way, more money energy coming in the next month or so to come. Now, sorry, the 9, not the 10. Now, the 9 is absolutely brilliant. It is a card where she is not at the end of her journey, but she is sat kind of looking outside and looking at all of the things that are out there to come. It's a really, really interesting card in terms of where you find yourself in terms of career, because basically what it's saying is you know exactly what you want, but you're kind of, okay, I've just realized I'm reading for you and I know some of what's going on. You're kind of, so the card literally, if it wasn't for the fact that we've had a conversation, I would be saying to you, this card is literally saying that you know that there is perhaps better things going on outside. You're stagnating where you are, and that actually, although you can sit inside in some sort of luxury right now, while you are sitting where you are, everything outside is slowly dying off. So literally, in terms of work, thank you, Tiffany. Have a lovely Father's Day celebration with your family. That is absolutely sweet. And yeah, I will talk to you very soon, my darling. Take care. But what we're saying with the 9 is that it's very much that energy, Byron, where you're like, okay, I could sit here and not think about my career or what I'm doing or anything. I could sit here for the next 10 years. I could sit on my ass in this job for 10 years, not even think about it, and not have to stop and look at anything or think about anything. But that isn't making me happy. And actually, I need to go and do some things and create some life, because the card, if you look, the tree that she's looking at, this bush that right down here is green with flowers. As you go up, it's a bit brown and a bit dead. And it's literally that energy is stagnating and everything is getting a little bit meh. And so, yeah, that is the energy that's coming in for next month. I feel that you're going to be at the point where you are ready to make a change, or you are ready to take on looking for that change in a big way, in a big way. Reason being, the echoing energy coming in is the Ace of Swords. Now, although I often say that swords is trouble and strife, it is also ideas. And with these two, with the build-up of energy with this is an idea. This is a new idea, new project. So there is something This isn't just you going, oh, I'm going to reduce my hours and do the same job. Oh, no, 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 no. There is something else coming your way. Now, of course, this could be the darker element of it, the flip side. This could be the bit that is talking about trouble and strife and some of those issues and hurdles to overcome. But very much, I think this is more on the ideas plane. This is very much, you know, that new project. And it could be the hurdle. It could be that you've got to find that project that sparks joy. You've got to find that sort of, you know, get the job, apply for it, interview, all of that stuff. That could be the hurdle. But this I don't get in the negative. This has not come up in the reverse. This has come up in a very positive field, especially after the 9. So the story of these cards, the energy that's coming in is this kind of, you know, everything's fine at work, but it isn't sparking joy. It's that thing of being at a Christmas party when you don't really want to be there and you're feeling obligated. That's the energy that's kind of coming into the month. That's where we are now. That's what's you know, you're taking forward. Then in the month to come, we've got this energy where it shifts and you're like, do you know what? I am bored and I need to do something, and I need to go and water my plants and water the energy and get some growth happening, because otherwise everything around me is just going to stagnate and die. Literally, we live in necrosis. Everything is slowly dies. Entropy is a thing. Like the universe is in a constant state of entropy. That is a thing. And this card is basically saying, if you stay where you are, that sense of entropy is going to get magnified, and you are just going to see everything around you slowly decay away. And it's just going to be that, you know, imagine being a vampire and you've lived for 500 years and you're now with another human, and you know that you're going to watch them grow old, get ill and die. Like, it's that sense of entropy. And this new one coming up is going to be the exciting one. This is the project where it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to jump through your own hoops and your own hurdles, but this is about an idea. This is something that is sparking, and this is all work related. Absolutely 100%. There is a brand new role coming up in the next week or two that I've decided to bite the bullet and submit your CV for. Fantastic. Yes, go for it. Go for it, Byron. Absolutely go for it, because it could well be that that energy that we said was going into the next month, it could well be that is what's there already, and where you are right now is that nine of Pentacles. So that could be what the cards is saying, and that your new project is that new energy, that new something coming. Even if you don't get it, even if you don't actually get that job, just the fact that you are looking at it, just the fact that you're wanting to apply and you're going to take that step, that is a phenomenal move forward. So that is absolutely brilliant. So yes, absolutely, go for it, go for it, go for it. Well, oh, excuse me. What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is that you get a bit of experience with doing an interview, you knock your CV into shape, and you absolutely kind of, you know, you absolutely get another bit of interviewing, telling your bosses what it is that you want, showing and being able to showcase your skills. So even if you don't get the job, as a positive, you are able to showcase yourself. So that, yeah, absolutely. I think that is phenomenal. Cover button is going. Okay, cover button. You have a lovely solstice as well, my darling. Hopefully we'll see you next week for another Self-Care Sunday and Tarot. Take care, my darling. I do hope you have a lovely solstice and a lovely rest of the week. Right then, Byron, so that was eerily accurate. Thank you, and thank you, Yaz and Anita. Oh, thank you, Byron. I have very little, I mean, literally, I don't know whether you saw my reaction. I'm going to watch that back because that would be really funny. Where it suddenly dawned on me, I was like, hang on, this is Byron. Like, I've had a conversation with Byron and this sounds eerily familiar. But yeah, it does. Have a sublime solstice cover button, says Kirsty. Absolutely. A wicked week, and speak to you again next week. You will do, my darling. Yeah, do please keep us posted, Byron. By the way, I'm sorry if anybody's got misophonia. I have no way of turning down the microphone when I'm drinking. So yeah. Yes. Oh my God, my darling. Right. You've had some stressful news over the weekend and foresee a tough few weeks ahead. Can you have a general reading, please, to see if the cards have any insight for you? Okay, my darling, I will do my absolute best for you. Let me just have a little pop back onto that one. Right then. So to the dragons and the guides and anybody else wanting to influence the cards, Our lovely Yaz, one of our fabulous Spanner squad, is wanting to know about a bit of guidance, really, after some shite news this week, and possibly foreseeing a bad week ahead. Where did that go? There it is. There it is. Right. Let's have a little look-see. Notification from English Heritage. They will be live for the solstice in 30 minutes. Yeah, they start like last year. They had a few interviews. They had like a little bit of like music that went underneath, and then they start as the sun sets. They will basically stay on the camera feed until the sun rises. It's beautiful. It really is. Right then, so what have the cards got in store for Yaz? What advice and guidance can we give our lovely Yaz, who deserves nothing but wonderful times, to be honest? All of my Spanners deserve nothing but wonderful times. They give up so much of their evenings and weekends to help both myself and Kirsty. Because Anita, they do a few, they talk about like some of it, or last year they had a couple of interviews and a bit of music, and then the sun sets on the pre-solstice, and then we're into the night, and then we're there ready for the sun coming up. It's it's a whole process. Right, come on, there we go. Right then, let's see, shall we? I think my chair's gonna go. I made the mistake of buying a cheap chair, and unfortunately it doesn't like it when you lean back or lean forward or lean either side. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a bit of a bugger. Right then, we'll start with a 3 card. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so hang on, let me just select my coffee. So, the past, we'll do a standard past, present, future, but I am going to elaborate on it. So, we've got the 4, no, we haven't. We've got the 5, the V is 5, Jesus. The 5 of Pentacles in your recent past. And this is all about having that blindfold lifted. So, I think that the news that's come, you've had some bad news, obviously, as you've said, but it's actually been something which has been in the works for a little while. It's something which has been kind of bubbling under that surface, and now it's like, oh, now you've told me. And it's probably to do with career or money. So that is absolutely coming through there because it's a pentacle. So that is something that I would say, I don't know whether that is bad news in terms of your career or somebody around you, but there's definitely that kind of feeling that it's going to, or even just like, it could even be like with studying and things and not getting a grade that you need to get the job that's going to pay well. You know what I mean? There's something there around longer term future in terms of money. At the present, your sense of self is being rocked. So whatever this news is, it's really, really affecting you and your confidence and your feeling of like, how can I put it? Your feeling of your confidence in your ability to kind of do things and to sell yourself. It's in a good way. It's a really kind of, it's like this is a new project coming your way for your sense of self, and this is really negative. This is really kind of a little bit rocking your world at the moment, and not in a nice kind of dancey disco kind of way. I would say it's also kind of family related, or is possibly gonna good night, or thank you, Lisa. Okay, my darling, you take care, my darling. I think it's also gonna impact in terms of family, because we've got the 3 of Cups. So Cups is the emotional suit. It's all about our loved ones, our friends, our family, our positive emotions, all of those sort of lovely things. And the 3 is about that family unit. The 3 is about that kind of bonded unit. And I think that it's long term, it's going to come right, but it might be. So what I would read this as is like there's been some shit news and something bubbling under that's been really bad, that is going to absolutely affect you and impact you in a new way, that is going to kind of mean that you might need to rely on family, or you might need to look to family. Right, let me just go underneath. Right, okie dokie. So we're going a little bit deeper. In the past, whatever this issue is, it's related to somebody. Katrina just given Lisa 25 towards coffee. What? You like? Thank you. Like nobody has to do that. Nobody has to buy me a coffee, and certainly not more than one. But thank you very much, Katrina. That's bonkers. But thank you, thank you. Thank you. It's when the other person did it this week, it also made me like have a little bit of a tear up as well. Nobody has to do that, but thank you very much. So Yaz, the whatever this is, I think is related to somebody that is younger, because we've got the Page of Cups coming through. It's either somebody that's younger, or somebody has made a decision in a very immature kind of way. So that decision, and it's somebody that you are closely linked to. So in terms of, it could be a partner, it could be a family member, it could be a very good friend, but it's somebody somewhere who has basically, it's almost like someone's been lying to you for a long time, and now you've been told the truth. Does that make sense? Like somebody close to you has been pulling the wool over your eyes, and literally now you've had that blindfold lifted. And I do get the impression that it's somebody that is either a close friend or family member or partner. It's that kind of closer bond. And they've absolutely, they've been doing the dirty or something, and they've finally been found out. Now the energy at the moment, we've got the Chariot, which is all about travel. So the underlying thing here is either somebody is leaving, somebody is being kicked out, somebody is being forced to move on, basically. And whether this is the Page, or whether it's you that's going to be moving on, there is very much this sort of, do you know what? That's it. We're done. No more. That's it. Be gone. Because we've got the Chariot, and the Chariot is upright. And so the Chariot is all about travel. It's all about journeys. It's all about moving forward, moving to new places, moving, that constant kind of trudge forward. And in this case, but the Chariot can also be about battle, because the Romans used to use the chariots for battle. They would have the chariot fights, Ben-Hur and all of that. So I don't think that this is like whatever this split is, whatever this is here, this is this person moving on, or this like get out and go, or you're leaving, or whatever that is. This one here is very much the it's like, get out my hat. It's Peggy Mitchell, get out my pub. It's that energy, right? It's that energy of, I ain't taking this no more. Like, I ain't blind to this anymore. Get out. And it's that kind of energy. And it's not something that you want to do, because it's going to impact your sense of self. It's going to impact how you see yourself. Now, interestingly, in the future, when we've got this family thing that I said, and we've got some smiles, and it's that sort of more positive energy, it's coming in with Temperance, but Temperance is reversed. So Temperance is basically saying to be calm, to kind of let things smooth over, to let the waters calm, to let everything kind of die down and be at peace. Now, the reversal doesn't mean to not do that, to keep that energy, to keep that chaos, to keep that fight going. It doesn't mean that. What it actually means in this instance, coming up in the sort of the subconscious, the underlying, what this means would be very much, you're not going to want to mend those bridges. You are not going to want to let things go. You are not going to want to kind of take that upper hand at all in any way. You are going to want to fight back, bite back. that is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to punch back, but it isn't going to solve anything. And actually, the way to move on is with this family unit, whatever this family unit is, the way to move on is to kind of find a way to let that anger dissipate, to let those emotions kind of die down a little bit, and look at things with a slightly clearer head. Now, it doesn't mean forgive, it doesn't mean forget. What it means is to look at the situation from slightly clearer. And you can only do that if you are out of that fire, basically, if that makes sense. So it's very much talking about taking a step back, letting the emotions kind of die down a little bit before then maybe going to the family or going to this, whatever this family unit means, and getting that support there. I don't know whether you like, I don't think you have a child. I don't think so. But because of this 3, it normally does represent being the child. So it may represent your parents, and going back to parents for help and advice. It could represent going to, asking somebody with children for some advice about something, whatever this is. It's like deal with the anger and all of those strong emotions first, and then with a slightly cooler head, make those decisions and ask for advice about those decisions. Does that make sense, my darling? That sounds like you down to a T. You're in Aries, so can be very fiery. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I do hope that makes sense. I'll tell you what, we'll pull one more card as an outcome card. Okay, we've got the 8 of Swords, and she was they were reversed. And so in this case, again, it's this is the Aries thing. I was going to say it's about patience and waiting it out, and like waiting for your moment, because there's going to be a lot of issues coming up, but you need to make sure that you are safe in your home. So you are literally safe in your metaphysical and physical kind of house, and that you are secure before you tackle any of these issues, because they are going to still be there. And right now you kind of need to let them fester, like let them. I said it in a video today, like, you do you, boo. And this is what you need to this is the energy you need to have. It's kind of like, right, okay, I see very clearly now. You do you, boo. I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to mind my own energy. I'm not going to I'm not going to attack like as much as I might want to. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait things out, and I'm going to decide just how painful your retribution is going to be. Because that's the other thing. Just because you're sat waiting out and quiet, that does not mean that you forgive and forget and let people get away with things and walk over you. What that means is you decide how best to respond. That response could be, it could be having a conversation. It could be throwing a glass of beer over someone. It could be slashing somebody's tires. You know what I mean? There's different levels of retribution. There's different levels of comeback. And what you need to do is to take that step back and decide the best method for you to actually move forward. And it could be that you just let go and just go, do you know what, piss off. It could be that you decide to spend more time around the family unit, or it could be that you absolutely go full on kind of First Wives Club. Whatever is right for you, my darling, the only way to decide is to take that step back and act with a cooler head rather than acting in the moment. Because if you want to do the First Wives Club, take all the money, take all the cars, take everything, that's not going to work if you let them off with a slap around the face because you're angry right now. Does that make sense? So yeah, you block everything up, Anita, and then go off like a volcano. Absolutely, I can see that. Kirsty says, ooh, Yaz, I can volcano too, my lovely. But I've learned over the years that I tended to be the one who got most burnt. Exactly. That's the thing with a volcano. It's all well and good erupting, but what you do is you end up with that entire mountainside covered in hot molten lava when you're just trying to attack, one little hut, and the entire mountainside gets ruined. So yeah, do just be aware. Just beware. But anyway, my darling, I hope you can take that. I'm going to move on to the next reading. Belinda, can you have a general reading too? Absolutely, my darling. I will do that for you. It's made so much sense and has really helped. Oh, thank you, Yaz. As Kirsty said, revenge is a dish best served cold. That's all I'm going to say. See, this is the other thing. I'm a liminal witch. I'm leaning. I think this chair, I think I've damaged this chair again. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, everyone. Let me just, have I? Oh, yes, I did. I moved. Hang on. Well, not damaged it, but I moved it, and then that's gone like that. Right. Ugh. If only you knew, if only, oh, there we go. Running over. No, Louise, I think there is, I think there might be space for maybe one more. Ask the, that's better. I was going to fall over then. Ask the lovely Kirsty there, my darling. Right, so we have Belinda, a general reading for you, my darling. I will have a little look-see at that. Okay, so then for the guides, the dragons, and everybody else, can we please have a general reading for the coming few weeks for the lovely Belinda Chapman there in the chat? Okie dokie, let's have a look and see. So the dragons, the guides, everything else, everybody else, let's just have a little look-see at what is in store for Belinda. Right, okay, now I need to be super careful because I just dropped like a whole bunch. But as long as I don't move this sodding chair, can I reach? Oh, because I can't move the chair back. Yes, I did. I've got everything. Oh, once this room is all moved round and I've got my new chair and everything sorted, it's going to be so much nicer. I know, right? Everybody's like, didn't you just buy a new chair? Yes, I did. And I bought a cheap one. And Mum always said, buy cheap, buy twice. And I'm regretting it already. But, you know, hey ho. We live and learn. So then, here we go. For Belinda Chapman. Let's have a little look-see. We're going to cut the cards. That's better. My right hand is not working very well at all at the moment. Is that it? Is that the drop? That's the drop. Everybody's wanting general readings today. It's so hard to do general readings over the internet. It really is. Right, okie dokie. That's interesting. Let me just have a look at the one. No. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. So we've just had a repeat card, and the reason I was just checking them. Thank you. The reason I was just checking then is that sometimes if you get a repeat card and there are other repeat cards within that same section, it could well be that you've just shuffled them back to the top. However, that isn't the case with this. So this repeat card is another direct message. So then we'll do that same energy we're taking into the coming month, the energy of the coming month, and the echo that is coming in from the month after, if that makes sense. So this is very much sort of between now and sort of mid-July. So the energy that you are bringing with you, Belinda, is the Eight of Swords reversed. So in this case, again, it is still that unresolved issues, unresolved things that you haven't dealt with. Now, this is a slightly different message to what Yaz got because it's in a primary position rather than a... was this in Yaz's one? I don't even remember. Whichever reading it was in a different position. So in this case, this is saying that there is unresolved issues that you are very much aware of and are avoiding. So there is stuff that you haven't decided which way you're going to play it yet. So there's things that you still need to work on in terms of finding a resolution. But those things are something that you are fully aware of and deciding not to do. So whether that's something you're actively avoiding because you're like, oh no, I can't handle that shiz, or whether it's something that you are kind of just like, nope, I'll deal with it later, now it's not the time, that energy is still bubbling over and those issues are still there. And the only thing with issues that stick around for a long time is that eventually we start learning to live with those issues and not tackling them head on. And so unless it is something which you are able to tackle and to deal with and shine a light on, those issues can kind of almost calcify. You know, sometimes when you get like a people, what is it? They get like a, it's not a boil. What is it you get? You get like a little lump and it calcifies and then starts turning to bone. It's almost like that. Once you're at the point where that issue, that little niggly has turned to bone and it's calcified, then it's really hard to deal with. It's much easier to deal with stuff. It might not be comfortable to deal with stuff, but it's much easier to deal with stuff kind of before it calcifies, before it becomes stone and rock. Now, in the kind of the main energy of the month ahead, we have the Hermit reversed. Now, the Hermit very rarely comes up, but the Hermit is, as you can see, this is like a Doctor Who type thing, where it's the same person, it's their future self. Now, you can either be passing the torch of knowledge down, which, considering the way that the flames are going, is the way that I interpret it. Other tarot readers interpret it slightly differently, but there's two ways, okay? If in your future you want to be a lawyer, then right now you need to go to law school. You know what I mean? It's that kind of, this is the younger version of you. This is the sort of where you are. And you are passing, you know, you have to do the work now so that the future you can have the knowledge to pass back, if that makes sense. And it's about, but it's reversed, which is talking about, like, again, with this, there is stuff here you haven't dealt with. And this is basically saying that those things you haven't dealt with, you could, it could make you feel very lonely, very separate. And it could also make you feel very, almost like you're not doing the right thing by yourself, if that makes sense. It's like sometimes we can be our own worst enemies, right? And we put up with stuff that our own brain tells us that we would never allow a friend to put up with. So if you see a friend and that friend is going, oh, I'm so fat and ugly, and oh, I'm like a despicable person. I'm just nothing. I'm like poo on your shoe. If that's where you are, you know, if you see a friend saying that, you'll be like, don't be bloody stupid. No, you're not. Like, okay, everybody's put a few pounds on over lockdown. That's neither here nor there. You're not ugly, and you're not a piece of, you know, shiz on somebody's shoe. You're a lovely human being. Why would you say that? We would intervene if our friends were doing that, but we don't do it when we do it ourselves. And that's the kind of energy that is coming through. It's like, you know, this is making you isolate yourself a little bit and not deal with what you need to deal with. This is kind of also dealing with isolation, but also dealing with that kind of, you're not being fair to your future self or your current self by hiding away and by not doing that work. And then, oh, this is going to get interesting. The future energy. We have the Magician. The Magician is about, the Magician is about pulling the wool over somebody's eyes, and putting a mask on and kind of sleight of hand manipulation. Okay, now this is a trickster card, and this is, I think this is your energy, and this isn't set in stone, but this is where, and the reason I'm saying this, right, and as you can tell, my voice has changed, everything's changed, because this is an important thing. This isn't that you are going to be lying to everybody or lying to yourself. This is about, with the energy, with the things that you haven't been able to deal with or that you aren't dealing with that taking you down this road, this lonelier, kind of slightly separated, slightly distant road. It can lead you to kind of hiding the truth from yourself, because that's kind of what you're doing here. Here you're burying your head in the sand and not looking at the issue. Here potentially you're looking even further, you know, burying your head in the sand, disappearing into a cave for decades, but also telling yourself that everything is fine, that everything is great, everything's wonderful. Ta-da! And literally it's the thing is, look, this person's hand is glowing. because they want you to look at this. They don't want you to look at this up here, or what's on the table, or what's tucked into their belt. They want you to go, ta-da! You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm just going to hide something under my headphone, and then, but I'm showing you my hand. Look here, look here. Don't look at what I'm doing back here, where I'm tucking a piece of paper in my headphone, or, you know, a folded £10 note or whatever it is that the magicians do. And it's that kind of energy. Now, the thing with this is that this is a warning shot, because avoiding whatever this issue is, and I've got the absolute, like, you absolutely know what this is. Avoiding this can lead to this, but because we're not here yet, this is like the future months energy. So this is basically saying to you, like, this isn't set in stone. This is the time where you do need to kind of, you know, start looking at and addressing some of these, whatever that issue is, whatever these concerns are, whatever that is that's making you want to go and hide in your deep dark cave for 40 years and pass on the torch to your future self. It's kind of like that. That needs addressing, because otherwise you will start trying to convince yourself and everybody around you that everything is fine when things aren't fine, if that makes sense. I hope you can take that, my darling. I'm going to pull you one more card. I'm just doing a quick shuffle. I'm going to pull you one more outcome card, or yeah, an outcome card. Hopefully bring a bit more clarity. Let's have a little look. Okay, Queen of Wands reversed. So this is your sense of security. This again is your sense of self. Whatever's happening is really, it's making you feel a bit shit, and it's making you feel a bit, yeah, it's making you feel a bit less than yourself, not quite feeling yourself, not quite putting yourself forward, putting your best foot forward, all of those things. So yeah, I think that it's something that you said in the chat, it's a tricky one to deal with. Absolutely, I think it is. And I think that's why the issue's been unresolved for so long. But I do absolutely think that you need to resolve it, because I think it is starting to dig away at who you are and how you feel about yourself. And I think it's something that is absolutely starting. It's like chip, 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 chip. You know, like a woodpecker. A woodpecker finds a tree. That tree is perfect. Starts pecking a tiny little hole. Initially, like no real dents to the wood. Eventually, great big huge nest in there, and that tree potentially could die, or at least, you know, ends up growing in a very different way because it's got a great big bloody hole in its side. And this is that peck, 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 peck that you've got going on. And eventually, it's going to do you some more serious damage than you're aware of. Your mask of that magician will come into play, and that's something that you are, I would say, probably quite good at wearing. But the outcome, that Queen of Wands reversed, this is a real warning, Belinda. Whatever it is that you're going through, my darling, whatever it is that you need to deal with, get that financial advice, get that medical advice, get that counselling advice, get that legal advice, whatever it is, go and get that advice that you need to try and find a resolution, however hard that resolution might feel, and however difficult it may feel that you know to address. Because if you don't, the outcome is looking really quite bleak. Bleak. I'll just say it. You know me. I say it as it is. And I think that is something that you are going to need to get that advice and be strong. And it's going to take courage, and it's going to take strength, and it's going to take fortitude, and all of those things. It really is going to take things to you do, my darling. But the thing about wearing a mask, eventually you wear it for so long that you don't even remember what's underneath. But also, when you are wearing a mask, even if it's watertight, airtight, everything else, you can still spot the other people that wear them. And I wore a mask for most of my adult life until the last few years. So trust me, you can wear a mask, and your mask will fit very well. And most people in your life will be convinced by that mask. However, you're never going to convince yourself. And there will always be people around you that can see behind the mask. So just like, please, my darling, if there is a way getting some support or getting some advice or getting some sort of, you know, taking out a hitman. Don't take out a hitman. But you know what I mean? Whatever it is that you need to do, absolutely do, you know, do address it, because it's a bit like, okay, just say it, Lisa. It's a bit like cancer, right? If you find a lump, you go, oh, I found a lump. I'm going to ignore it for the next 3 years before you go to the doctor and suddenly it's everywhere. If you go when you go, oh, I found a lump, the doctor goes, oh, it's something we don't like, we'll take it out. Jobs are good in. Like, I had a skin cancer scare that was very much that. It was, if I'd left it, it could have developed into something much, much worse. As it was like some not very nice cream and some stuff that I had to deal with. And then it's just, touch wood, gone away and done what it's done. But at the time, if I'd left it, things could be very different now. Anyway, I hope you can take that, my darling. I really, really do hope you can take that, my love. And again, remember that here on this channel and over on Kirsty's channel as well, you've got friends here and you've got people that absolutely have your back. So, you know, if there is ever a time that you need to talk or you want to have a natter or whatever else, get in touch, because, you know, it's better than wearing that mask and not knowing what's going on behind it, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you can take that, my darling. I'm going to move on to the next question. What am I looking at? Why have I not got any messages? What's happened? Right, okay, I've got questions here. Right, I'm going to no, I'm going to go for Ramneet Kaur next. No, I'm going to go for Ramneet Kaur next, who's got a very simple question. Has Karan got engaged? I hope that is Karan. I hope I'm saying that correctly, Karan. Let me have a quick little look-see. This should be a relatively simple question to answer. Now, again, the tarot doesn't normally give you answers like this. It isn't normally about, you know, is a tin of beans going to be 20p next week? Is a loaf of bread going to be a pound on Friday? It isn't normally that sort of question. It isn't normally factual. It's normally about underlying psychological, emotional, spiritual, all of that stuff. But we will have a little look-see. So Ramneet, you're asking a very simple yes or no question. You watch the cards come up with something that's indecipherable. Okay, Ramneet, let's have a little look-see. And there we go. What was I saying about indecipherable? There we go. So, look, we have the Four of Swords. Now, it's reversed. So this would say that this is a negative, a negative element on the card, okay? So the card itself is all about knowing information and looking over the side and knowing what was coming. So again, it's possibly negative in that context. I'm going to have to pull another one. We've got the three. This is just going to be, this is why this type of question almost doesn't work, Ramneet, because it's like tarot isn't designed for yes or no, because the next card we're pulling is the Four of Wands. So we've got two fours though. Interesting. So the Four of Wands again is a reverse card. So we've got two reverse cards. So possibly the answer would be no, but it depends. Because if the reversals are normally negative energy, and if that negative energy means is how you feel about it. So if Karan is somebody that you liked and is somebody that you wanted to marry, and you know, for you, that person getting engaged would be a real negative. For them, it's a real positive. So two negative cards, like, it's almost impossible to read from that perspective. But we do then have a positive card, which is the Ten of Wands. Again, this is about your sense of self and your sense of security, and this is about laying the acorns for the future. So it is almost impossible to answer a yes or no question like that because what these tell me is what you will be feeling emotionally about a situation, what you're thinking, what your underlying trends are. It won't tell me like yes or no directly. The next card is the world. What does that mean? It could mean that Quran's got the world at their fingertips. They're absolutely living a brand new life, brand new wonderful thing. This could be related to you. It could be that, you know, you need to move on and create a whole new world for yourself. Who can say? It's impossible to say in that sort of yes or no answer, my darling. So I'm so sorry. That isn't a question, genuinely isn't a question that we're able to answer as tarot readers, or at least a lot of tarot readers will find it difficult to interpret that. Now, in terms of a simple yes or no, all of those cards, the like the two main cards, even the sadness that's portrayed in the Ten of Wands, that all says negativity, sadness. So whatever that means for you, if that means that Karen getting engaged would make you sad, that's one thing. If it means Karen, you know, hasn't got engaged, that could be the answer. At the end of the day, it's almost impossible to say, my darling, but thank you. Right then, so we are going to go to Louise. Is Louise here, my darling? Are you still here with us? Could I please just get a general reading? Absolutely. I'll have a little look see at that for you. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Fabulous. Louise is in. Okie dokie. So then, a general reading for Louise. Again, as I say, everybody, don't forget tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. You do have to be 18 or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And obviously, tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, financial advice, legal advice, or counselling advice. Do make sure you check all of those out first, and always go for the mundane before the magical. Yeah. Good evening to Happily Ever After. Hello. You say hello, my loves. Hello to you. I hope you are well. We are almost done with some tarot for this evening. We've got about 10 more minutes. I have one more reading in after this one. So unfortunately, our tarot list is now closed, my darling. But if you would like to join us next week, we open the list at about 7:30-ish UK time. So if you would like a tarot reading next week, do please make sure you're here no later than about 7:30 UK time, because once the list opens, it fills up very, very, very quickly. Okay, then, this is a 3-card reading for Louise. And Louise just wants a general reading. Again, we'll do that same reading that we've been using all night, which is the energy coming from our immediate past, the energy that is we're taking on for this coming month, and the energy of the month ahead. So let's have a little look-see. Okie dokie. That's fantastic. Oh, thank you. Thank you there. Happily Ever After. Right then, we have. Okie dokie. Oh, interesting. Interesting, Louise. In the past energy, I need to get a new deck of cards. Look at the state of these. Look. I don't know whether you can see. They've got like coffee staining and all sorts on the edges, and just sort of. Yeah, I need to get a new set of the same. But anyway, in the past position, so the energy that we're bringing with us from the last month is the 4 of Wands, and it is reversed. And Wands again is all about your sense of security, and this is it's quite an interesting card, because basically the first card you start off a bit alone, a bit on your own. Then we merge in with a partnership, and we find friends and family and belonging. Then with a partnership, that increases into family. And then once we have family, it increases into knowing ourselves, bettering ourselves, all of those things. Now, this is your sense of self. Now, if I hold it the right way up, you can see that this couple, they are obviously blissfully happy. You can see the smile etched on her face. Look, but no, they are genuinely happy, and it's a unit. But they are using their wands, so they are using their security to grow the grapevines, and the grapevines magically are giving them wine. So they are, this isn't day one. And this is when we're talking about your sense of self, and when we're talking about that previous energy coming through, it's like yourself, you're quite a fair bit along your journey, but there's things here that you are still needing to address from your past that you don't really want to deal with, that you don't want to address, that you don't want to look at. So we've all got those I call it an imp. We've all got those imps in the back of our subconscious, in the back of our psyche, that we have to chain up, or we keep caged up, all of that. Some people refer to like depression as the big black dog. We've all got those things that we those parts of ourselves that we're not ready to address. And that's what this is relating to. And that basically, because this is your sense of self, there is something which, again, a little bit like we had in the reading just before, there is something where that you need to kind of move forward, you need to address, but it's just not quite there. And this is the energy that we're bringing forward. Now, I would say that it's more to do with how you view yourself than perhaps a traumatic incident from your past. It's much more to do with, how you look at yourself. So whether you feel, you look in the mirror and you're happy with what you see, or whether you constantly criticize, you get an amazing haircut and you're constantly like, oh, well, do you think it's too short on my neck? Do you think it makes me look like I've got two chins? You know what I mean? And everybody around you is like, oh my God, you look so stunning. Your hair is so beautiful. And you're like, oh, but I think I wanted an inch off and he's cut an inch off, but I think he's cut too much off. You know what I mean? There's always that kind of sense of negativity that we can sometimes bring. And I think that this is something, not to that extreme, but I think this is something that you are certainly kind of bringing with you. In terms of the month ahead, we've got the Queen of Cups reverse. So again, this reversal is that questioning your place. Now, the Queen of Cups this way up is a beautiful card. Look, she's the aquatic queen. She has dolphins, which are there for knowledge. She's got the book in front of her, which again is books of knowledge, because she's a queen. She knows a lot about her kingdom. God, yeah, that her people. But this is reversed. So again, this is very much, there are things that you emotionally are still looking at and still dealing with. There are things that emotionally that you are wanting to repair, but also there are things that you are wanting, like there's stuff that I'm getting incredibly emotional. I can feel it here. Like I can feel a massive weight on my chest, as if, like, I don't know whether you are connecting with this, Louise, very firmly. I don't know whether this is like coming from you, but there is definitely this very strong pent up kind of, it's almost like you don't want me to go on. Does that make sense? It's almost like you're like, okay, stop talking now. This is too much. And this is one of the things with tarot, is that it does reveal things that can be quite difficult for us to hear sometimes. And I don't mean to stress you, and I don't mean to cause you any pain in any way, my darling. I really don't. But whatever this is, it is something that needs addressing. It is something that is going to need, you are going to need to maybe look at, and something which, again, this energy from the future is, you were just thinking how spot on. This energy from the future, my darling, or this energy that's about to come into play, it's not negative. Because even though she's reversed, and there's things that are unknown, and there's stuff, and it's a difficult journey, she's still a flipping queen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, she's a queen. You are a queen. You are a flipping queen. And when we're talking about things like this, like, even though there's negative stuff, and it will be difficult for you to get your throne and to sit up there and say your orders, and for people to like off with their head, and for them to go, oh, it will be difficult for you to get into that position of power, authority, and confidence. You are that queen. And yes, it's reversed, and yes, it's taken it out of you, and yes, there's a lot of stuff here that you need to address, but you're a queen. Like, just keep remembering that. In terms of the future energy, we have the Emperor coming in. Now, this can be a strong male energy, or this can also be representative of control and controlling the world around you. So this could well be you taking control in a very forthright, very, very strong, domineering, authoritative way, and basically saying, this is what we are going to do. No ifs, no buts. I'm not asking for opinions. I'm not putting this to the test. This is not a democracy. This is what we're going to do. And it's that energy. Now, this could be your energy, or this could be somebody bringing this energy in. And if it's somebody bringing this energy in, just be careful, because this is very, very, very authoritative, very dominant energy. Now, normally I would say, you know, oh, well, we've got the Empress, this is the Emperor, so this is, but because that like the Empress energy is very much more, how can I put it? It's more nurturing, it's more maternal, it's softer. It's about, you know, making sure that everybody has everything they need, still being in authority, but it's like the Queen Mum, you know, you kind of think of the Queen Mum as was, and you think like soft and fluffy, or think of the Queen now, you think a bit kind of old and grandmothery. What you don't think is that they've weathered a hell of a lot of storms to get to that point. But with this energy, this is very much more, this is what we're going to do, end of, like it, lump it, this is the way. So yeah, I hope you can take that, my darling. It's if it's your energy, it's really, really positive. If it's somebody else's energy coming in, just be aware that you don't get swept up into their dictates. Okay, that would be how I put that, my darling. I hope you can take that, my sweet. I really do. Yeah, I really, really do. Belinda's gone, I think. Thank you for hanging on, Belinda. Yeah, you talked about the lorry crash your other half was in. All you've said sounds like it's describing how your life has been and how it's going to change, and then not knowing how he'll recover. Right. That Emperor could represent a doctor, because it's knowledge, could also represent your other half. So it could represent your other half kind of doing that. What we're going to do is this. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get back on my world. I'm going to get back in control. It could well be that. So that makes a lot more sense. So that Queen at the moment where you're reversed, you are still a queen and you are rocked, and everything is really, really tough. Sorry, my darling. I because of the ADHD, I have real, and because of the fibro and post-COVID, I have real problems with my short and longer term memory these days. And so basically, like, unless you remind me, like now I instantly remember the conversation. However, before that, my brain just can't pull that information back anymore, because I'm buggered, basically. He said exactly that. So there you go. This is it then, my darling. This is what this is. This is literally your other half kind of becoming that dominant Emperor figure and deciding that he's going to get that and do whatever that takes. And it may well be that journey is going to be really, really, really tough. But you are a queen. Absolutely, you are a queen, and you can handle it. You might not feel that you can handle it because it's reversed, but she's a bloody queen. You know what I'm saying? That's representing you. You as a queen. It's not a knight. It's not a page. It's not a, you know, lady in waiting. It's not just like one of the people in the lesser arcana, the minor arcana. She's a queen. I mean, I know technically that is the minor arcana, but you know what I mean? She's a court card. She's a queen. You're a queen, and you can handle it. You might not think you can, but you absolutely can. Yeah, and that Emperor energy, that is either you getting the boss ass energy, or that is him getting that boss ass energy and basically going, yep, I've got this. So yeah, absolutely. You are a strong queen, as Anita says. Absolutely. Right then, I've got one more reading in, and then that is going to be it. Oh, hang on. Where is, why does my Instagram keep doing that? That's really annoying. Bear with me. Sorry. Right then, Harleen, here we are, my darling. A general reading for you, Harleen. I will do that for you very, very quickly, my darling. So for the guides, the dragons, and everybody else, let's have a little look-see at what the, excuse me, let's have a little look-see at what the next block of time holds for our lovely Harleen. Oh, you've got your power. Absolutely. Yaz is absolutely right. You've got power in you, Louise. Keep queening it. Absolutely. Absolutely, my darling. You keep queening it. Keep slaying. Again, also, I need to point out the healing brooch is here. If you see it in any of the videos, send it a little bit of energy. It will sit on the back, on the altar behind here with the 2 now selenite wands. It's going to be charged in the solstice energy, and it will be amplified, magnified, and enriched and enhanced, sitting on all of the selenite and all of the other crystals. So if you need it, feel free to call on that healing energy, either for yourself or for your other half. It connects to a much larger Akashic field of energy out there. So yeah, absolutely. Right then, so then, Harleen, my darling, you are the last one tonight. Let's give a little cut. Oh no, that was just me being a bit crap then. Sorry about that. Here we go. So are we doing 1 cut? That's the one. So then, Harleen. Okay. Again, energy. So what you have got, absolutely, my darling Louise, like literally sending you as much positivity as all of us possibly can for you and your other half. Absolutely. Harleen, my darling, we've got the Queen of Wands, which is the energy, again, reversed, that you are taking into the coming month. Okay, so again, it's that queen energy, but it is all about your sense of self. So you know yourself, but the reversal is that there is a hell of a lot going on for you as well. And I think that at the moment, like you don't, again, a bit like we've just had with that same thing with Louise, you don't kind of have any confidence in yourself. Other people will be like, Harleen, you're great, you can do this, you're so lovely, you're wonderful. And you're like, no, I'm a piece of trash on the floor. And that energy is something which you do, like, you need to ignore your own brain saying that you're a piece of trash on the floor, and you need to listen to the people that are saying, oh, Harleen, you're great, I love you, blah, blah, blah. That's what you need to listen to. So you need to listen to the fact that you're a queen and not listen to the fact that it's reversed. Okay, it's really, really, really important, because this negative energy is bringing forward the Tower reversed. Now, the Tower can be seen as quite a significant card in terms of having a huge impact on our lives. Now, if it was this way up, it's literally everything that we've built up in our lives being torn asunder, everything being kind of broken down. So the sense of purpose, our well-being, all of that, all of the important things in our life, basically being built on a bed of sand, basically, and having it pulled from under us. It's the foundations being rocked. It's literally the Tower of Babel being hit by lightning from God, and everybody, literally jumping out the windows in flames. And it's that sense of kind of having, it's that sense of having your entire world, everything you built up, taken away from you. And this is the energy. But because it's reversed, it's actually giving you that little window of saying that it doesn't have to be this way. Like this negativity doesn't have to feed into losing everything. You don't have to lose everything here. It isn't about like destruction of everything just because you're feeling crap. It isn't about that. It's about like, it's basically a warning saying that if you continue a downward spiral and a spiral of negativity and self-doubt about who you are, and doubting that you again are a queen, and doubting that you are a powerful person with your own autonomy and your own wishes and your own right, if you allow that to kind of keep getting rocked, then the things around you that you are building up, the things that you're trying to put in place for your future, are going to get badly affected, and they are going to get knocked. Now, sometimes this can have a positive impact, because it's a bit like if you've got a forest and it's stopped growing and everything's kind of a bit meh because the canopy of the trees is so big, is blocking out all the sunlight. So the ground of the forest isn't possible to grow because there's no sun getting through, you burn the forest. You do a controlled burn. You literally burn it all down and turn it to ash. And then in the following year, the seeds from that forest that are under the ground find the sun, they get germinate, they're germinated, they have the sun, the rain hits them, and they actually then begin to grow. So for the forest, is that a positive or a negative? If you're looking at the point where the forest was burnt, it's probably a negative. However, a year later, when it's full of new growth, new ferns, new baby trees, lots of new animals because they're able to eat all the plants, that then becomes a positive. And it depends on your perspective. And this is kind of what this is saying, okay? So you really do need to find your inner strength. And if things do start kind of coming apart at the seams, maybe that's what's meant to be. Maybe this is your forest being burnt so that the new plants can grow. In the month after, the energies that are coming through, again, we've got another magician card showing up. So again, this is that trickster energy, but again, this is reversed. So I think this is all very much your self-doubt. This is very much your, like, you are your own worst enemy at the moment. This is you, like, you're probably going to hear this reading and then go and look for an astrologist, astronomy. What's the astrology? Yeah. You're going to go and look at your horoscopes. And then after you've done that, you might go and ask, a friend the same question. And then you'll go and have a look over there and ask somebody else and ask somebody else. And it's that thing of no matter how many times you're told the same thing, because you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to be able to put the answer into you. So if the answer is literally, if somebody said to you, all of your problems can be solved by doing this, 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 and this, you'll be like, oh, thank you for that. What do you think my problem? And it's like, you know what I mean? Because you don't have the confidence to think that you're going to be able to do this, you're never going to do it, if that makes sense. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you, when you ride a bike, I know, right? One of Lisa's tangents. When you ride a bike, if you think you're going to fall off your bike, chances are you will. If you think I'm going to get on that bike and everything's going to be fine, then everything probably will be. If you get on that bike and you think, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to be really wobbly, oh, I haven't ridden the bike in 10 years, oh, I'm going to fall off, then you probably will, because you're telling yourself that that's what's going to happen. And this energy coming through, this trickster energy, this mask, this kind of, this in this case, this is really a sort of a negative aspect of wearing a mask. This is you kind of trying to convince yourself that everything is good when absolutely everything is potentially going to fall around your ears. And the thing is, it's all avoidable. You just need to have that confidence in yourself. Now, this isn't toxic positivity, okay? If you're in a bad situation and you're living in a situation with somebody that you absolutely can't stand, thinking positive ain't going to change that. If you're in an abusive relationship, thinking positive thoughts ain't going to change that. If you've got a medical illness, thinking positive thoughts ain't going to change that. You need to take the vitamins, or you need to take the medicine, or you need to go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes toxic positivity can just be like, just believe in yourself and everything will be great. Fantastic. I'm diabetic. If I just believe in myself and everything's great and go and eat like 50 bags of sugar, probably going to kill me. However, believing in everything's great, taking some medical advice and maybe only having a donut rather than 50 bags of sugar, and taking my medicine rather than leaving it on the bathroom cabinet for 6 months, one of those is probably going to do me a lot better than the other one, is all I'm saying. And when we're talking about like positive thinking, this isn't that toxic positivity bullshit. This isn't that everything's going to work out fine, because it might not. It takes work and it takes effort. But absolutely, I believe to the core, see what I did there? But to the core, to the root, to the fiber of my being, that the universe only ever gives us what we can handle. It will test us. It will push us to the point of breaking. It will make us bend so far we think we're going to snap. But actually, we can deal with things. We just need to find that way, and we just need to have that belief that we will find that way. Like today is summer solstice. So I will be lighting candles and lighting a little fire in the garden, because in the olden days, people believed that if you light a fire on the summer solstice, that it meant that the sun would come for the next year. So you light the fire to acknowledge the great ball of fire up there, to welcome it for the coming 12 months. And we know that doesn't make sense these days. We know that there is no sense of science in that whatsoever. However, I will be honoring that tradition, and I will be honoring that belief, and I will be partaking in that tonight, so that the sun comes up tomorrow and for the next week. So Kelly says, where there's a will, there's a way. Normally, in my experience, where there's a will, there's several family members all trying to get the favorite knickknacks from auntie, whatever. But I do get your point. But also, having the will is worth jack shit unless you put the effort in. That's the key thing. So Harleen, that I think is what the cards are basically saying, is that all of this negativity, all of this self-doubt, all of this sort of like self-hatred is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy unless you find a way of turning that around and then working with that sense of, I can do this, but it is going to take work. Like literally having a positive attitude, where there's a will, there's a way, is fantastic. But if you sit on your backside and you think, you know, absolutely, the universe is going to send me love. Again, I'm going to tell the story. I say it every time in this instance. It's the story of the man who falls down a hole and prays to God and says, God, please save me. And somebody comes along with a rope and they say, here, look, I've got a rope. I'll pull you up. And the man says, no, God will save me. And then the next day, a guy comes along with a ladder and he says, oh, look, I've got a ladder. I'll let the ladder down, let you up. And the guy says, no, God will save me. And then next day, fire engine turns up and it's got all of the ladders and all of the team and all of the equipment. And they say, come on, we'll get you out. And the man, at this point, so close to death, says, no, it's okay, God will save me. And he dies and he goes up to the afterlife, and the gods say, what the hell happened? What are you doing? And he said, God, I thought you were going to save me. And God says, I sent you a rope, I sent you a ladder, I sent you a full fire engine. What more do you want? Sometimes having the belief that things are going to work out is great, but you've got to put the work in, you've got to put the action in. Otherwise, it's just a belief, and you might as well just tell yourself that you can fly, because, you know, that's about as realistic. Anyway, I hope you can take that, my darling. We do, unfortunately, I do tell it as it is, but we are over time now. Thank you so much to the Spanish squad for staying with me. Thank you so much to everybody who is watching this. If you can, if you're watching this on the replay, please do put a lovely star emoji, or sorry, no, the sun emoji. Sun is a star. Well done, Lisa. Put the sun emoji in the live chat, or in the not in the live chat. You can tell I'm not very good at this, can't you? It's actually because I've been streaming for just over 2 hours and my brain is now starting to turn to mush. But if you are watching us on the replay crew, please do put the sun emoji into the chat. That really helps in the comment section. It just helps let me know that you're watching this on the replay. Also, if you are able to and you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button and then click the bell icon so that you are notified each and every time I upload a video. I've got a few videos planned for this week. There should be an interesting Witchy Wednesday coming up. Also, over on the other channel, there won't be a Will It Soup tomorrow because it's been Solstice, and I've had 3 videos to film and edit for this channel in the last 4 days. So it's been a lot of work to get those up for this channel, but there will be one over there for next week. And hopefully I should be over on Beyond Authentic Health and Beauty at 11 a.m. UK time for a coffee and catch up live stream over there. Don't forget as well, Kirsty, our lovely, gorgeous Kirsty over at Making It Up, MAKE-ing it up. She has her own channel where she looks at beauty with a huge dollop of spooky. And she has a live stream every Friday evening at 8 p.m. called the Friday Night Natter. So do make sure you check that out as well. I'm one of her moderators over there, one of her spanners. Also, check out the fantastic Authentic Army down in the description box. Scroll down where it says, past where it says show more, and you'll see there's a link there to the Authentic Army. There's a small group of creators who keep it 100%, keep it real, and tell it as it is here on YouTube. So if that sounds like something you'll be interested in watching, do make sure you check those out. But that is it from me today. Have a fantastic solstice, however you are celebrating. Please do show the mods a little bit of love in the live stream. Thank those lovely spanners for doing everything that they've done tonight to keep everybody safe. Thank you very much to Yaz. A wonderful night of readings, Lisa. Such great work tonight. Thank you very much. Anita, thanks everyone for joining this evening. We hope to see you again next Sunday. Thank you. Making It Up. some really interesting readings this evening. So thank you, Lisa, for displaying such skill in interpreting the cards. Oh, thank you, darling. Byron, thanks again, Lisa. And the Spanners. Kelly says, have a fantastic week. And then Kirsty Lane just says, thank you, everyone in the chat, for being with us live. And if you're watching on the replay, please put a sun emoji in the comments for the solstice. Absolutely. However you are celebrating the summer solstice, whether you're doing anything or whether you're just going to watch the news in the morning and see how the sun came up, do have a lovely, lovely, fantastic solstice and have a really blessed day, whatever that means for you. Take that charging energy, take it with you, and let's do some wonderful, wonderful things. But for me, that is it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. You've all been absolutely amazing, and I will see you on another video. And as we always say, stay you, stay weird, spelled with a Y, stay authentic, and I will see you next time. Hands in the air, awkward wave, awkward wave, awkward wave. Good night, all.